Welcome to the next episode of VGXL. I'm your host, Daniel, aka Game. Joining me again is AutoCAD, also known as Dakota, and joining us for a
what up
5-episode deal is Ezra from the Idiot Ezra Podcast. What's going on, man?
What's going on? A lot this week. I feel like I've been an adult again after 2 years being at home, being COVID. So yeah, I'm being an adult again, which is very sad. It sucks. During this time, during COVID, I realized I can retire and feel good. A lot of people are workaholics. I'm completely the opposite. And I've come to terms with that, and I'm very happy about it too.
That's baller.
Oh yeah.
Baller. I'm with you on that. I'm absolutely fine not working. I'm very comfortable being creative.
Well, I've been working like a fucking sucker, so all through COVID. So yeah. but yeah, it's,
good times. You're propping this country up, man.
You know, it sucks because they do all these what's it called? You know, like everyone's clapping for the nurses and stuff like that. What happens to the guys who come fix the machines that the nurses use? We get no love. Exactly.
No love for you.
Exactly.
You get a paycheck.
It's amazing.
You get
too.
a paycheck and you go home. That's it.
But yeah, if you're not already following, definitely check us out on Twitter at VGXL Podcast, Twitch at Video Games X Life, Instagram Video Games X Life, YouTube Video Games X Life, and yeah, if you're not sure, VGXL stands for Video Games X Life. So yeah, and if you want,
Let's clarify.
And
Really?
yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone needed to hear that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where can people follow you,
Okay.
AutoCAD?
Mm-hmm. Right now I'm on Twitter at AutoCAD_22. So you could reach out to me there, curse me out, say what's up, follow what I follow. You know, cool stuff like that.
And
That's
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you use Twitter, Ezra?
Do I use Twitter? Yeah, you can check me out and cursing out my Jets, cursing out several other people, retweeting very sexy ladies at Idiot Ezra on Twier.
All
yeah.
right.
There you go.
Awesome. All right, cool. So, yeah, what you guys been playing this week? Because, like, we've been doing so many fake episodes that haven't been published and playing different things. So, what you been playing, AutoCAD?
Me? Well, I was playing the Battlefield beta. I streamed that a
that's
couple
right.
times. That was a good time. That's fun. A lot of people were bitching about bugs and glitches, shit like that. I don't know. I didn't experience... I mean, there were bugs, but I don't know. That's par for the course when it comes to like a newly released DICE game. I think people forgot maybe what they look like when they first drop. There's usually a few bugs, so get used to that. It's okay. Everything will be all right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then I played that. That was a lot of fun. And then I've been playing Back 4 Blood. That just dropped for Game Pass. Just dropped, and it's also on Game Pass, which is nice. And I'm a fucking moron, so I'm looking at Back 4 Blood and just thinking like Left 4 Dead. I just associated it with Steam, something Valve.
Yeah.
So I went right to Steam and I fucking purchased it for $60. And then I'm looking at it, I'm like, why does this feel wrong? And then I go to Game Pass, I'm like, oh fuck, that's why, because it's right there. So I requested the refund. I got the refund like right away. So hats off to Steam for taking care of that for me. But yeah, those two games are pretty much all. Good times though, really fun.
Yeah, it was, that's right. Back 4. You say you didn't really care about Back 4 Blood, right, Ezra? I know you had tried it during the beta.
Yeah, I tried it for the beta. I was excited because Left 4 Dead, the developers came back and you just an itch for that type of gameplay, and I was I love playing co-op games. I feel like I play games nowadays just to play with my boys, my friends, etc. And I was hoping Back 4 Blood would be that, but during the beta, it didn't feel right. It didn't feel smooth. Obviously, it's a beta, so maybe I gotta, watch the reviews. Maybe what AutoCAD says, it feels good, it looks good. I feel like the replay value. I just want the replay value to be there, and I didn't feel like it was during the beta. Once again, obviously, that's just a little snack. That's not the meal. So hopefully, we hear the reviews are good. Maybe I'll jump on it, and maybe I'll just jump on Game Pass.
Yeah,
for
man.
The only thing I gotta ask is for Game Pass, if I get Game Pass for PC, do you have it on PC?
Yeah, I have it on PC. Yeah.
Okay, so I was wondering. I was just wondering. I'm wondering if this cross-platform. If someone's playing it on their Xbox and I'm on my PC, would it be able to cross-platform?
Yeah, I've already done that. I've played with people on Xbox. I think
all right, cool.
So that works all right. And I'd say the replayability is even higher than Left 4 Dead just because they have the card system.
Yeah.
And that card system is kind of fire. It's confusing at first. They don't do the best job explaining it, but it does add a lot of replayability, especially if you play it. If you play it on like easy, it seems kind of, easy.
Yeah.
But then the moment you put on veteran, it really adjusts, and those cards become critical because
I was going to say, because during the beta, I feel like the cards were not, I didn't feel the difference. You know what I mean? Using the cards during the beta, I'm like, okay, you got these cards. I got ability. I mean, my defense is up, or I'm able to do this. My offense, I just didn't feel the difference at all.
I hear you.
So hopefully, maybe now that the full game is out, maybe you can tell and feel the difference during the gameplay.
I think you can, especially like I said, on veteran or higher, because the mobs are definitely harder, and you can stack them. So after you stack a few, that's probably when you start to really notice. And maybe in the beta, you probably didn't get to stack them in the same way or as high as you can in the real game.
Yeah.
So this one, by the time you're towards the end of that act, you've stacked a few and you've got a few buffs, going back and forth between other players. So I don't know. So far, it seems like it's adding a cool little level of replayability to it.
That's sweet.
Yeah. What I was gonna say about the crossplay thing with Game Pass, I would just be careful. Well, I think Game Pass is good to have it for the $10 if you're just gonna play it on PC. And they, they're always adding cool shit, but it's almost like certain games, if your friends, like, what was it, Deep Rock Galactic, which is a four player horde style like game where you play as these dwarves and you mine like resources and stuff together, and it's a fun game. But if you have it on Steam, it doesn't work with Game Pass software. Okay. So it's like certain games, I guess they just wanted that as an exclusive. Maybe they just the devs couldn't do it, but that doesn't work with Steam. Like if you have the Steam version, you got to play with other people on Steam. If you have the Game Pass version, you got to play with people on that. So that's the only thing. But most games that especially newer stuff that's on Game Pass on PC will be cross compatible with the Xbox ecosystem as a whole. So if it's on the series or the original the Xbox One, then normally those games, they'll be either cross save, which is probably one of the biggest perks to have an Xbox, is being able to jump on your TV or your computer depending on where you feel like playing, and that's pretty cool, whatever. But yeah, some games don't work with Steam, like you have to all be playing on Game Pass, but I mean most people have Game Pass anyway, so that was only an issue because I have a friend who refuses to ever pay for Game Pass. Like he only wants to own his games, doesn't like Game Pass, doesn't care, won't even. I'm telling he's leaving soon on military duty. Yes, Atlas packs with the facts. And I'm like, yo, let's get on some Back 4 Blood, before you leave, bro. Don't even buy that. Just pay for $1 for it. And he's like, nope. I'm like, oh, well, I'll give it to you. Sticking to it. Exactly. Like, I give it to you first. And I was gonna buy it for him, but I was like $60. I don't know if it's worth $60 just yet. And like you said, they only gave us access to like the first chapter in the beta, and I haven't seen chapter 2 or 3, and there's only one little dot for 4. So who knows? I mean, it feels like it's enough, and there's gonna be more content later down the line. So, we'll see what happens. Yeah. But yeah,
we got more to talk about that a little later, though. We'll save that.
Okay. Did you? Are you playing anything else? Ezra, did you ever? Is there any other games you've been playing?
Well, I'm celebrating this week. I'm celebrating my 800th win in Rebirth and Warzone.
Oh, nice.
So, there you go. I've been playing that. Honestly, though, I do want to give up Warzone. But like I said, I'm big on playing with my friends, and most of my friends won't leave Warzone. So I feel like I'm kind of stuck there until I find, maybe some other group of friends, or maybe a game that could just take me away from this. I'm hoping. I'm dying for Overwatch 2, to be honest. But, until then, we'll see what happens. Maybe there's something that takes me away from these scumbags that I play with. So, yeah.
Are they into Battlefield at all? Or will they be when it drops? Or
I don't think they're real heavy Battlefield players like that. And to be honest, I'm not a real Battlefield guy myself. I think the last one, the one that Dylan did enjoy, was the fake Call of Duty. I think it was that Frontline or whatever it's called, Battlefield. Was it Frontline or I don't know?
Which one, like the World War One? Oh, Hardline.
Was it Hardline?
Hardline was real, kind of modern. It was like cops,
that was like to me the fake Call of Duty one, which I did enjoy. Okay. So, but the big open field ones, I haven't really been immersed into that world yet.
Not your jam. I see. Okay. Okay.
That makes sense because Battlefield is actually really different compared to Call of Duty and Arena. More closed map. So yeah, it's like you really got to go in with a plan, know what you're aiming for, and just have fun with it or whatnot. So I could see that. Yeah, I don't know.
I love Battlefield. Just you'll never get the same level of immersion out of a Call of Duty. Like the sound design in Battlefield is tops. Nothing outdoes it. It just feels like a battlefield. You got a jet. It's chaos. It's full on war. You got a jet flying over you. Like talk about cinematic. There's a jet flying. Then you got soldiers blowing up next to you.
The only thing that turned me off real quick. Maybe he was a sweaty, but I saw just a small clip. This dude had like a scope on a Magnum or something on the new Battlefield, and he was just popping people off one shot out of choppers, shooting across the map, and right there just was like to me, F out of here. I'm not dealing with that shit.
With the Magnum, like the hand cannon, the pistol?
The hand cannon, and he's popping people off of choppers and roofs and everything. I'm like,
wow, that's impressive.
All right, bro. Okay, all right. This is that shit annoys the hell out of me. Like, there's certain things. Listen, I'm not saying Call of Duty is a perfect, first person shooter. There's things that annoy me big time, like when people do bunny hops and drop shot. Like, you can't do that in real life. Let me see you do that with a gun in real life. Drop shot or bunny hop with a gun. I asked my military friends, I'm like, do they train you like that in the Army?
Yeah, that's a basic, dog.
Do you jump up with your
Absolutely.
Obviously, I know it's an exaggeration, and I know it's a video game, so
they're taught how not to climb rocks, all that.
Things of that nature. But
not to climb rocks.
Once I saw that
never
clip,
climb a rock, soldier. Sorry.
I was a little turned off. That's about it. But maybe, once again, it's a first person shooter, so I would be open to try it out.
If it makes you feel better, that does not happen often. I don't think I've ever seen that. What you will get frustrated about is when some motherfucker in a goddamn whirly bird has never seen the outside world but knows how to pilot this thing as if they fucking went through basic and will legit, no lie, do 360s around you like the whole time dodging rockets. It's fucking infuriating. It's magical to see, but fucking infuriating. But
oh shit, yeah.
That's my piece.
What you been playing, Dan? Huh?
Been dabbling. So I was playing New World.
Huh?
Nah, not yet. It's coming though. It's coming. Don't get me started on Final Fantasy.
I know. I shouldn't even mention
that's the rest of the episode now. All right.
No.
Let's get ready to talk about how Endwalkers today. I was reading it's going to be the biggest expansion. No, I'm just kidding. A lot of news did come out today. Today's October. Get off your phone. I will kill both of you. What you call it? Nah. There was a lot of news. It's funny because there was a lot of news today, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But as far as what I've been playing, New World, I was stuck on a little bit. I'm still back and forth with it because it's like, there's what I like about New World compared to like Final Fantasy is Final Fantasy, you're stuck in a job. Like if you're going to be a tank, you're stuck using that weapon or whatever tank weapon, and you got to switch jobs to level, to whereas in this you can mix it. Like I said in the recording that we never released, was that you can mix up your weapons. So you can you can have you're allowed two weapons. Swapping weapons doesn't turn off cooldowns, like your special abilities for the weapon. So I think that's really cool. So I'm gonna go like a tank here, like a fake paladin, where I can tank stuff and as well as heal myself and members of the party.
What a time to be alive, man. Do you remember when you were bitching like it wasn't I gotta switch this weapon to change my jobs? It was I have to create a brand new fucking existing human being or character to then take another job.
Right,
then,
exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, and now it's that, and now even that's not enough. Now I want to be able to I want every job right here. I want to be able to wiggle my ass and I'm like a cook, and then I move my pinky and I'm a Dark Knight and fucking
exactly.
What more do you want, games? What more do you want?
Hey, it's cool. Now it's like we went back. But
I'm pretty sure. I want to say something about New World. I know the sales hasn't been released, but Amazon has a certified hit on their hands, right? This is their first hit.
I think so. Yeah.
A lot of people are playing it. It's got a lot of hype behind it. And I think they got their first hit.
They finally, I think this solidifies them. You're right. I think this completely solidifies them as a game developer or publisher now. Like,
what was their first? What was their first outing?
Crucible.
Yeah, multiplayer. Like,
it was like a PVE VP or whatever, which already exists. Epic already has a game that does that, and I think it does it better. But yeah, it was like like an Overwatch meets battle royale type of thing. So like
it lasted for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
it didn't last. They shut it right back down.
Then they shut it down.
Yeah, they shut it down. They went back into beta. It released and went back into beta to fix the game, and they finally shut it down. And it was okay for what it was. Like, I'll give it, it was okay. It's just because it's about you drop into a map. There's like, I don't forget how many other players, and then there's goals you have to complete. And and then while you're completing the goals, people can fight you or stop you from completing that goal. So like if it's like doing fetch quests. It's kind of like how Warzone incorporates those little missions while you and you can do quests while you're getting to the trying to stay alive. Kind of the same idea, but way more branched out. Like there's things to kill, and you have to mine resources and get things that there's I forget the name of the game. There's already a game like that I think does it really well. It's really fun. And it just didn't make it. So now this one, I think solidifies them as a game publisher, and I think we're gonna start seeing we will see more stuff out of them now, or this will give them funding or confidence to put money. Unlike Stadia, I don't think is coming back. I think they're trying to onboard enough to maybe but
I mean they're already dead. To me they're already dead. They're finished.
Yeah. I think they're trying to get rid of as many of those fucking controllers as they can, because there's always a free way to get to do it. But yeah, I agree with you. I think they're dead.
That's the only way. Think about the quote unquote console wars. What's the big difference between PlayStation and Xbox? It's the exclusives. Everybody can talk about anything else. It always comes down to the games. And if Stadia does not have anything different to offer, you suck. You just got no shot. There's too many competitors out there to compete. I think they're just riding it out. If they were like Amazon, you got the money. You obviously got the money. Put the money behind Stadia.
They have money and talent, and they let both of them go. Like they let all the talent go. I'm like, why? Like let a game come out, but
that's not their goal, man. They're an advertising.
Kudos to Amazon to staying on, putting their foot on the gas and continue to try to make a game and a hit out there. And also, even though I feel like I should attack Microsoft a little bit on this too, like because overall their exclusive have been lackluster for a decade now. Like they haven't had a lot of exclusive bangers out there. PlayStation blows them out the water when it comes to the exclusives. And
absolutely.
Amazon for their second game to already haven't hit, to me it's like, come on, Microsoft. I don't know what's going on. Whoever's leading that department on, depending on exclusives.
They got John 117. They can always fall back on, baby.
Oh, fall back on what?
John 117.
Oh.
He's not going anywhere, man. He keeps printing money. They're okay.
Hey, well, I'm just saying exclusives. That's where it's at. That's the bread and butter. That's how you win consumers on your side when it comes to this video game war.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it's just the exclusives.
Well, Uncle Phil definitely is turning them around with their business strategy. I think Game Pass is definitely, going to be big, and it's coming. They're coming. You're right.
Honestly, I don't think he deserves that credit, but that's just me.
What?
Well, I'm sure there's a board of directors, but he's the one who spearheaded it. He changed. He really flipped under his direction.
I know he spearheaded it. I know, but I'm saying I think it was the CEO that probably said, "Hey, you know what? We're a software company. You know what? I want to lean towards that direction." I think I was talking to Marvin, my partner on Idiot Ezra podcast, privately, saying the CEO, Microsoft is a software company. Let's go. I think someday. I think their goal is F a Xbox system, F a console. We want everything go straight through Game Pass and have this ecosystem with Office and our cloud services, and boom, you got video games. It's just another offering in their software development, because we know games for the Microsoft is what? I don't know. 5% of their business? I don't even know. 10%? I'll give them 10%. I don't even think it's that much.
Right.
But, yeah.
It's growing. I'm not sure how big it is. It's definitely growing.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I mean,
you're right. If we really keep it real, yes, of course, it's not just, it was never just Steve Jobs. He didn't create the actual iPhone. It's not ever just, that one person. So, I mean, fine. Yeah, I feel like we're splitting hairs. We're getting a little bit too real with that. So you're right. I'm sure that he has higher ups he has to appease to, but I'm
just saying, I'm not giving him the vision. He deserves credit for implementing the going toward creating the vision, to fitting the vision. I'm just saying, I'm not giving him this is what he wanted. I feel like his boss told him, this is what we want, and you go make it happen. And he deserves credit for making it happen. That's all I'm saying. I think that the direction of the CEO, which transformed Microsoft, probably set the vision
do
out.
something with software. If Game Pass was his idea, making better relationships with indie devs, making better relationships with like someone like Nintendo.
No, he's doing it. Like I said, I like the path that they're making, that they're going here.
Because
I really do like the. And I like the
make
path.
bad decisions.
And if they can't make exclusive games, I like the path. They're saying, you know what? Let's buy it. Let's buy these developers out here in these streets. If we can't make it ourselves, let's buy them because they got the money to do it. So I like. And listen, I'm just saying overall, I like the path, but some things I wish they would, step their game up. Like your exclusive, step it up.
It's coming.
Well, I think it's coming. I mean, we have to remember at some point, Sony had to buy those studios.
I've been saying the same thing about my Jets. So. Jets championship is coming too. It took 50 years. It's been a decade now. So, it's coming. That's what I hear. Until it's here, I'm still going to be disappointed. I don't want to hear it's coming. I want to see it happen.
Listen, man. Eventually we'll get there, but they're gonna have to buy it. Just like Sony, once upon a time they had to buy those studios, and eventually they waited, and they're paying off big time now. And now Microsoft, they're doing their thing.
Listen, I like it. Like I said, I like that they're buying these developers and they're getting these properties, these IPs.
Yeah, man.
Because they still hold some weight, in the gaming world.
And I think Microsoft was on their own timetable, sort of like their cycle. And I think exclusives we see kind of happen in cycles. Sony kind of never took their foot off the gas, but I think Microsoft sees these exclusives more as a way to get in the young generation. Us, we know the systems. We know what we're going to buy. It is what it is. But these exclusives are really good for the younger guys that, all right, that's going to tie them to this system for the next, 15, 20 years that they're playing games.
Yeah.
So I think that's where Microsoft is now. They're at this cycle now where it's like, all right, we're about to get a brand new rush of these young guys in with these new exclusives. Get them in.
Right.
These new IP shit like that. I think that's what they're doing. I think that's their strategy with exclusives, where Sony just, I don't know, they're more artsy. I think they have just a more artistic direction overall. I'd say Sony.
I could see that. Well, their studios, definitely a little bit more. Yeah, it looks like they're trying.
They just push things more creatively, more indie on that side of things. They always push. They seem to have more leeway. Where Microsoft for a long time, it was the established things and just keep that gravy train rolling. And now they've hit that cycle where it's like, all right, we need to stir some shit up again. We need to get, a new gen,
exactly. Just
batch.
like every company goes arrogant, right? It's like, okay, we're on top of the world right now. Let's be arrogant. Let's see how far we can make it until we have to go back to the drawing board and not be arrogant. Because Sony got there with their PS3, and look at, they came back from that shit fucking crazy and still haven't backed down. And then Xbox, they did great with 360 and then got arrogant with the Xbox One, and now this is where we are today. And it's like now they're they closed down a bunch of studios, just like EA closed down a bunch of studios. Now they're all like trying to come back and rebuild and reestablish that faith in the consumer faith or whatever. And that's all it is. If everyone starts buying Game Pass tomorrow and they get 100 million subscribers like I'm sure they want, it's like they're gonna be arrogant again. Then you'll still see stupid shit happening. Like this won't be on Game Pass. You know what I mean? Like because we have to make money. Real money now. Shit like that. So like who knows? But yeah,
hopefully they see the value of the subscription and the subscribers, and they see how valuable that is, and they just
exactly.
Because I think that's where everything's going. So
yeah, I'm like, I be fighting with these Twitter idiots, and I just do it just to see reactions. And I gotta say, Twitter fanboys are weird, bro. Like they be going in and doing weird, like they act like so smart and nerdy, and it's just like, yo, calm down. Like like I was, because I tell someone, they were like, oh, someone should wake up Sony and tell them, make them have a Game Pass. X Cloud. They said X Cloud competitor. And I said, well, that PS Now, that's cloud-based. That PS Now. Yeah. And they're like, oh, you can't download games on PC. And they started, I'm like, what are you talking about? We're talking about xCloud, not freaking Game Pass, which again, PS Now did it first. Not that it was any good. Don't get me wrong. Their first iteration was trash. Like renting a game for 4 hours, like for $7 or some stupid shit. Like no one's doing that, So or $15 for 3 months. Like you're renting a game for 3 months for $15. Get the fuck out of here. So
they thought people still believed in Blockbuster, huh?
Exactly. Like that shit was so ridiculous when they first, and that's them just trying the shittiest possible way and see how dumb people are. That's all that is. And then they, but at the end of the day, it's like when they need to, they will make a competitor, and I think that's that's the route they are gonna go. It's PS Now. I'm sure the only reason it hasn't shut down is because Game Pass exists. If it wasn't for Game Pass, I think PS Now might have shut down already. You know what I'm saying? Like,
true, yeah, they'd be like, get rid of that shit. We don't need to compete with anybody.
They dropped the price quietly. They didn't say anything. $60 a year now for that, and that's actually, I paid for the year. I was like, I'm gonna fuck with it for 1 year just to see, and it's really not that bad if you think, when you're on the place and you want something to play. It's dope how you can stream it really quick to play something, and it streams pretty well. And then for this is only PS4, and then you can download the game if you want to continue. If you want obviously the better fidelity and the game to run a little bit better, you can just download it. But you can try. There's 400 games, mind you. There's not 400 games on game. Well, there's 400 PS4 games, 800 overall games. There's 400 PS3 and 400 PS4 games on that shit. It's 800 games on PS Now, and people sleep on it. And I'm just like, if they really want to ramp up, they can, or they put some PS5 on the back end that can run it. That's what they need, and that's when we'll know they're really competing. The day they say every PS4 game you're playing, it's like you're playing it on PS5. That's when, I feel like they're trying to compete with Xbox. Because right now, Xbox just did that. Any game you play on xCloud, any game is going to be like it's running on a Series X.
I was going to say, it's automatically running on their latest stuff, yeah.
Yeah, it's not before, xCloud was only Xbox One based. That's why it was such trash. Now you have more
even
power.
360 sometimes, it was rough.
Yeah, it was bad. I was freaking playing, the latency last September. That latency was trash. You could tell I was playing Destiny, and it was horrible. I was playing the other day on mobile, not even Wi-Fi, on mobile, and that shit was running perfect. And I was like, wow, this shit is running buttery smooth. Like, xCloud really has come a long way. That shit was playing like, I was like, this is the shit right here. And with something like this, I love this shit. I throw this on my phone and turns that whole shit into like freaking, I almost don't even need a Steam Deck. If I could actually run the games natively, I would even get a Steam Deck. But that's what I wanted for the native games.
Yeah, it's pretty fire though.
But yeah.
Nice.
Oh well. So yeah, let's get. I mean, we talked enough. I think there's some news I want to go over. And speaking of the Steam Deck, Monster Hunter Rise demo just came out, which I had no idea. Oh man, so you should definitely play AutoCAD. I know you like Monster Hunter. You should try out that demo. It's free right now.
Yeah,
you get 5 quests. I just found out like literally like 2 hours ago. I was like, there's a freaking demo.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That game for being on Switch, it was 30 frames and it was low res, but it was still pretty enough to be passable. And it's still Monster Hunter, so it was just Monster is just fun in general, But I was able to get used to it enough, but I cannot wait to see that running at least closer to 60 on that Steam Deck, and just on my PC, just running freaking 4K or 2K or whatever.
I'm gonna download that as soon as we're done here.
Hell yeah, I'm definitely gonna be all over that. I want to see how it looks on my PC already. Yes. Have you ever dabbled in Monster Hunter, Ezra?
Nah.
Okay. Nope. Not at all?
Because you got to play, I know there's a console version of it, correct?
Yeah, PlayStation, yeah.
But, the real thing is on PC, and I don't think that's controller support.
It is.
Yeah.
On PC also?
Probably. Anything cross-platform that's on the console, it has controller support on PC.
Okay.
Almost every game nowadays, just overall, to be honest.
And even PlayStation games, even games that use the DualSense, that take advantage of on the PS5 will work on PC as well if you use a PS5 controller. Okay. Like Deathloop, I didn't know. Yeah, it uses all the trigger, the adaptive triggers, all that shit. It uses that on PC. I was like, oh shit. Yeah, that's almost. Cool. I for sure thought that was never gonna be a PC thing. I was like, why would they do that? Yeah, I was like, why would they do that? I'm like, when you could just buy, why would you buy PS5 if you don't care about PS5 exclusives? You can enjoy the controller on PC.
Yeah, exactly.
It's pretty dope.
Just push back the PS5 purchase for me, to be honest.
I know. I know.
I can wait a little longer now. Very nice.
Hell yeah. I don't blame you. I really don't blame. If there's no exclusives you care about, fuck it. You could just get that experience right on your PC now. Mm-hmm. So, and I think Call of Duty does it as well. So Cold War. So you should definitely buy one. I suggest it.
No, that's my next purchase. I got to get a dual sense.
Hell yeah. And then you and then the other thing but the annoying part is that freaking there's no cross save between Switch and PC, which that's super disappointing, because I'm like, that would have at least convinced some friends of mine because I don't think one of my friends is going to buy it for PC. And I know that would have convinced them. I would have been like, yo, just transfer your save. But I don't understand. Like, why is cross save such a...
It's Nintendo, man. They don't want to share nothing.
That's the thing. There's tons of Nintendo games with cross save. So it's not really a Nintendo thing. And that's Capcom. That's more of a Capcom thing. It just seems like they probably don't want to build that into it or for some reason.
Maybe. Too much server cost? I don't know.
Right? I'm like, I don't get it.
Yeah, I couldn't help you.
And everyone's favorite game just hit 24 million subscribers. Final Fantasy 14, 24 million subscribers. That's crazy.
That's a lot.
It's going to be the biggest expansion yet, coming November 19th. I'm super excited. And Ezra, I know, is super excited about that too, because he loves MMOs and adventure games. And no,
listen, anything I don't want a job in real life. I don't want a job in my video games. I'm just saying.
That's funny.
The thing is, no, I hate things like that in my video games. Like, I gotta continue. I don't know. I just don't want a job in my video game. Okay?
It's honestly, the reason I stick with it is the story alone. The story is amazing, but I get it.
How do you feel about Animal Crossing?
The first one was fire. I haven't played the last 16 of them.
Oh, okay.
It's only been like 3.
Yeah, I know.
Or 4 maybe. Yeah, because it was like one for 64, one for
4 of them.
GameCube, and one for DS, and yeah, it hasn't been much.
It's a good amount. Fair enough.
But what you got? You got some news, right? Because that's all I really cared about. That's all I really cared to cover. It wasn't a whole lot.
Yeah, I mean, just general news. I mean, something that Ezra will appreciate. I think we got our boy, our Raiders coach, who I don't know. Were you a fan of Gruden before this news?
Yeah,
broke,
I actually John Gruden, yes, the Las Vegas former Las Vegas head coach of the Raiders was removed this week for his emails. Homophobic, racist emails.
Yeah. Quite a few of them too.
But I was a fan of his. I defended him a lot the last few years because he didn't go to the playoffs with these Raiders,
right.
And he got a lot of flack in the sports world. So the time has passed by him, and I defended him as a coach. And obviously, when this come out, I'm not here to defend him. And I think before he got fired, to say, hey, the NFL, because that first email came out, it looked like he was going to survive it earlier in the week.
Yeah.
And I was saying the NFL needs to at least suspend this dude.
Oh, absolutely.
To show something, but nothing was happening. Then the weekend came on, the more emails came out, then the owner of the Raiders, Mark Davis, said, you got to get the step in, son.
Yeah, you got to push it, homie.
So
it's
pretty wild. Yeah, so he won't be in Madden, and of course Madden EA jumped on because the last thing they need is any sort of discriminatory type person being associated with their franchise. So he's gonzo. I wonder who they'll replace him with. Maybe they'll put Sean Payton in his place or something like that.
Oh, they'll probably put the new interim head coach for the Raiders. I don't know. His name is Richie. I don't know. I don't even want to try to pronounce his last name because I'm totally destroyed. So I know they got a new interim head coach. He was the special teams coach. So maybe they'll put him in there. Or they'll do the old school Michael Jordan, player 23. That's right. This is coach 12 or something like that.
Coach of the Raiders who has no name. He's furious on the sidelines. All right. So yeah, that's that. Pretty interesting, but yeah, it's pretty crazy. Who knew he was such a douchebag? I always knew he was super intense, and I thought I appreciated that about him. But it seems like he's just a little bit of a psychopath. So sad days.
He's the definition of, not that he was a redneck in the sense that he was raised as a redneck, but literally, if you know John Gruden, he really gets red when he gets angry. They call him Chucky because his face just turns red when he gets angry. Yeah, and I'm like, he's a real redneck, so his neck used to get real red. Yeah. So he's the definition and literally a redneck. Absolutely. Especially with these emails coming out heavy.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So hopefully we never hear from him again. He's probably going to get real quiet, I bet.
He's made plenty of money.
Who was he emailing, though?
He was emailing another executive from another team.
Yeah, other executives, other coaches, shit like that. Talking crazy shit, though.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, yeah. He went pretty far. And someone in his position, getting where he got, he should have known. It was inexcusable.
I'm happy that he was stupid enough to put him in an email.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm happy when, when bigots like this forget, hey, let me just talk. If I'm going to be a bigot, let me do it in private, face to face. But I'm happy you put it in a place where, these emails went back. That email, the first email that got him in trouble was 10 years ago, 2011.
Yeah.
So thank God that he put it in a place where it's always going to be kept. You put it on the internet, it's probably going to stay there forever, and that's what he did. So he got out, and the True Colors came out, and he got released his 4th year out of his 10-year deal worth $100 million. So he potentially lost what $65 million unless there's a settlement some type of way. But he lost a lot of money, but he's made a lot of money in his career, and he's gonna be gone.
No one feels bad for him. He'll become a consultant somewhere. He's
exactly
made enough money, but pretty fucking wild. Other than that, we got some Call of Duty news. Ezra's favorite, apparently, Warzone. They're finally getting an anti-cheat. So, everybody's been begging forever for an anti-cheat. They are finally adding one to the game now that pretty much it's almost done. Yeah, exactly.
As a heavy Warzone user, I'm disappointed it's taken this long. Like, I literally want to quit the game. I uninstalled it. Daniel will tell you, I uninstalled it a month ago.
A few times.
A few times because the cheating is just so ridiculous.
It's rampant. Yeah. And
anytime you die, you feel like, okay, this person, you potentially think, man, that person was cheating. How did they know I was through? And there's so many different hacks. I always say you don't have to get the deluxe package with the aim assist, looking through walls, and all this extra shit that they have. It's really frustrating at this point. And I got 800 wins, and I'm frustrated a lot of times with this cheating. So I don't, to me, it might be a little too late for me. I don't know. I hope to be gone, but then again, I always talk that smack, and I play it again because of my friends.
Yeah, I mean, it just has that staying power because I'm the same way. I'm not a big fan of it, but my boys do play, so I do hop on. I get it in with them. But it is annoying because there's a lot of cheating. It reminds me of I don't know if you played, Counter-Strike back in the day, but it's like, there was a Goldilocks period where it was heaven on earth, man. You go to the PC cafe like I did after school. You'd be there with your friends. You hop on the computer. You're fucking playing a few rounds. You're going. But then eventually when, got a little bit older, started playing at home more, everybody started getting home PCs, all of a sudden hacking was crazy. And it completely ruined it. Like everybody
it ruins the whole experience.
Yeah. Everybody aimbot. Everybody had a wall hack. Everybody had fucking something. And it was miserable. And that's what this is. I think I played the other day and we saw someone checked the stats and they were able to see like the last 10 winners of the games we were in. And they were all people who went like 40-0. Yeah. Or who had KDs of like 30 to zip or 30.
Anything competitive, and if you get cheated, you just feel wrongs and on a different level. So you get frustrated, like I do a lot.
And then they cheat, and people cheat on everything. Because Fall Guys was suffering that when it first launched. There was all these cheats. I'm like, you're cheating in Fall Guys? Like, what is the point? Like the whole reason even feels good, especially in Fall Guys, that it's a race. So it's like you're like that doesn't even feel good. Like I get like getting the better of somebody in a shooter, like you're trash, you just want to murder everybody and confuse them. But Fall Guys, like people just do it. It's almost like, hey, I could cheat on this, I'm gonna do it. It's like, what's the point? That's so fucking weird.
Anywhere someone can win something, they're gonna be cheating in it. That's just seems to be what it is.
Yeah, it also got to be like young people too, like kids and shit that just find that shit funny.
Did you guys, because you guys are much older than me, much older than me.
Ancient.
Did you guys have what was it, Game Genie? Did any of you have Game Genie?
No, I had a friend who had it though, but I never had Game Genie
because it was expensive. I think at the time for my age.
I'm pretty sure.
I guess for the younger crowd who don't know what Game Genie is, like what? Like an extension or something that gives you codes?
So it was like it was like, so for the cartridges, you plug your cartridge into it, and then that plugged into like the Nintendo, for example, and then it just used actual codes that the programmers would use to cheat or whatever in the game. And that I did have. I had like a Game Shark for the PlayStation, and I used it to cheat on some games a little bit, but I mostly used it to play freaking copied games, and it allowed you to play imports.
Yeah, the PAL games, PAL
because you had a chipped one, I remember, AutoCAD. Yeah. And then I didn't know where to get a chip, but Jose had told me about the Game Shark thing. You put it in the back, it came with a spring, it spun on the PS1, then you took it out and put either the game from the PAL game or just a burned disc. Yeah. And I would buy $5 games from this guy.
Do you know what year
it's good times.
Game Genie came out?
Like 80 something, easy.
I don't know.
It says 1990 was the first one that came out.
Oh, really? I thought it was the 80s. Oh, wow.
Wow, 1990. Right. So, cheating has been big business for a long time.
Oh, hell yeah. Absolutely. I mean, it was built into the games because there was no save, so you had to find ways to cheat and skip, and I mean, really think about it. Super Mario, the original Super Mario had the warps or whatever. You know, that's kind of a cheat. You know, so.
Yeah. Didn't King Kong? There's that documentary, King of Kong, right, where the high score is like contested because one of them says the other used like an exploit or some shit like that.
Oh yeah, this guy for
the
Donkey
world record. Yeah.
Is it Donkey Kong or Pac-Man or something?
The Mario Kong, whatever.
Oh, okay, yeah. So yeah. So,
but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's lame. It's cool if you want to
lame.
cheat yourself. You know, you want to get ahead in Call of Duty. In Grand Theft Auto, you want the minigun when you just start the game. Fine, do it up. It's just a single player experience. But it's competitive against like other people. It just sucks.
Yeah, exactly. It's just stupid. But young people, it has to be, and just losers.
So in other news, what I really want to get to, so I'll go through a few topics here, is so we have Call of Duty, which is getting their anti-cheat, which is at a kernel level, meaning it's going to be working at the very, very base level of people's PCs at home. You know what I mean? And then also we were talking about Back 4 Blood earlier, and Back 4 Blood actually just released or let people know very clearly that they're going to be recording the voice chat. So even when you play, they have a disclaimer. It says, hey, we're going to be recording all the voice chat. So you have to agree to that in order to play and chat with people. And that's to, avoid abuse, things like that, people being racist, homophobic, whatever it is, shit like that. And then, of course, you have Riot, which has their system, which is always on, never turns off. If you want to play, any Riot games, you have to have that on, and it's always communicating with its server. Yep. And so that just got me thinking, because I'm looking at all this stuff, and I'm just like, well, what the fuck is going on? Why isn't there a bigger outcry over the amount of surveillance in video games? Why is it that we're just being watched, it seems like, from all these video game companies, and we're just letting them in, and no one's really making a big fuss about this?
And what's crazy to add to that is PlayStation said they're doing that too. So every PlayStation game you play in voice chat, it's recording, and this is just a regular party chat. It's recording everything.
And this is the party, so not even the game chat, the party chat.
Yeah.
So any party chat you ever make.
Yep. So Sony's listening in. Yep. On the PS5. I don't know if it started on PS4 yet, or if it's implemented across the board, which I'm sure it is, because it's the same chat. You can jump. It's an ecosystem now. It's, even though they're not, it's not like Xbox or whatever, but it's still the same chat. Like I can chat with someone on PS4 from my PS5, and now it's on your phone too, which I'm sure is recorded. And yeah. It's like everyone cried about the Kinect or the Xbox, the original Xbox needs to always be online. Look at this shit. Now this is like 10 times worse. That's
what I'm saying. Like the Kinect it just always had to be on to like, hey, we just want to make sure this game was purchased. That's all, no big deal. And people fucking lost their minds because it was Microsoft. And anything Microsoft does is inherently evil, apparently. That's what I've come to learn over the years. But then, you have shit like this where some Chinese company, no offense, whatever company, country they operate in, but you have Tencent who operates this company, and we have their software open on our computers 24/7. Every time we turn it on, it's already running before anything else. And people haven't said a fucking thing about this. Now you have Back 4 Blood, recording, your voice as you play a game. And all right, cool.
I think it's because people are used to it. And because everything is watched. You got a cell phone, right?
I do.
You got a smartphone? If you got a smartphone, they're listening to you.
Right, but they don't explicitly tell me they're doing it, right?
Oh, I know. I'm just that's even worse, right? If they're hiding it in the background.
It is worse, but at least I'm consciously saying, all right, they're telling me they're not, and I have no choice but to believe them.
I think I don't know if it was a laptop or a cell phone.
Here they're saying, hey, we're watching you.
I saw a picture of Mark Zuckerberg, right? I think it was his cell phone or his laptop. He had a piece of tape over the camera.
Yeah, I remember that.
If Mark Zuckerberg is putting a tape over a camera on one of those devices, that should tell you something. When Mark Zuckerberg, leading one of the tech companies in the world, tells you, watch out for tech.
Because already had to go through litigation because of that. Yeah.
So, like, how many times I remember this happens every day. You're talking about, let's say, I want to make sushi at home, right? That's a good idea. You're having a conversation. Then you get into your phone, you get advertisement. Take sushi classes to learn how to make sushi at home or something like that. Like, what the hell? Phones are listening to you. Alexa's listening to everything. I think all these devices and all these tech companies, information I think has been You know, it's been a highly talked about thing about personal information and being invasive and this technology being invasive. And, you know, it's a natural progression that video games is going to get into it too. So it's not on these games. The government needs to step in at some point and say, all these companies need to stop this shit. You know?
That's what they're selling the information to. Then it's to the NSA after that. Yeah. So, yeah.
So at what point do we as gamers stand up and say, we're not going to buy it, we're not going to support it, we're going to, you know, cry about it?
If they didn't do it with cell phones, I mean, like, you're right. I'm not saying you're wrong here. You're right. Yeah. We need, as a society, to stand up and be like, you know, now, as a consumer, we have the power, but that effort to combine and join forces for this seems like a tall task, and I highly doubt it's going to happen. And there's just going to be another wave in the technology phase that we're going to have to just get used to this. Like, all right, oh well, they got my information. They got my information everywhere else. Right. You know what I mean?
So you just think this is just, we have to deal with this with companies, private companies just watching us and collecting data.
Like I said, it's happening already. So I think that's why I don't think it's a big deal. You know, there might be a little small outcry like, yeah, that sucks, this and that. And that's it. They'll just, we'll just complain about it on Twitter. We'll complain about it on, our social medias. And that's it. There's just, that's not going to...
I am going to tweet about this hard.
But that's not really going to do anything. As long as we're consumers and stop buying something, that's when they're going to listen. When pockets are affected, that's when people listen. It's the only time when people listen, no matter what. You can scream change all you want until pockets are affected, until companies' value goes, the stock price goes down, someone gets fired, then that's the only time they're going to listen. That's the only time.
Yeah.
Complain all we want. We got to do it with our dollars.
Yeah, I guess it's just, I'm glad you guys agree. So, well, I don't know. Do you agree, Games, or do you love being watched? I know you're kind of...
I'm torn because it's like, on the one hand, you're right. It sucks. And, and Ezra's not wrong either. It's like people are just so jaded and complacent at this point that it's just like... What are you going to do? I mean, you can mute yourself, use it. I mean, I'm sure everything is. I'm sure even Discord, Discord is free and barely, they have Nitro, but it's like, who's really paying that much for that? And, and PlayStation is implementing Discord into their ecosystems soon. So soon Discord will be on PlayStation, and I'm sure that loophole's not going to be there. So, and honestly, I'm pretty sure, you have to agree to it, but I still think that, like, why would Google care to sell phones? If they're not listening to your voice service. I mean, they read your emails anyway already. If you're using any free email service, they're reading your emails.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Anything
like that's
you're not paying for, you're the product, right?
Right.
Saying, so
exactly.
I know for a fact that they're listening. I spoke to someone who works in like advertising and marketing, and so they told me without telling me because they couldn't, but pretty much they are.
Well, it's a known. I think it's basically an open fact now.
Yeah,
secret. Yeah.
But if you want to watch a good documentary on something along these lines, I think it's called The Social Dilemma.
Yeah.
Did you watch it?
I did.
Okay, I did watch it also. Like, if you're into that kind of things, like who's watching us and how they're using the information, watch The Social Dilemma. Mm-hmm. I think it's on Netflix. It's a great documentary, and guess what? I still went on my phone immediately after, probably during it. So, it's just so normal in our lives now. We just, like I said, it's been normalized, and you feel like there's no escape from it. There's a lot of people that speak about this on a government level, try to legislation, try to change it, and they still use their cell phone because it's hard to avoid. It's just almost impossible to avoid. You really have to be off the grid. You got to be somewhere West Bubblefuck. Growing your own food, have no plastic, it's just, you got to barter everything if you want to really be off the grid. You got to be somewhere off this planet, basically, to really be off the grid at this point.
Right. And I mean, at this point, it's like this. It's about, I think, the way I've come to terms and not want to like kill myself sometimes in this shitty reality we live in, is to just be knowledgeable. That's the most important part right there. About it, right? So if you're trying to overthrow the government, don't use a cell phone under your name, right? So I mean, that's the biggest thing. Is the trick really? It's not so much that they're listening. It's not so much that they're reading. It's about what you're willing to transmit through those channels. So it's like, it's all about being smart, and that's what I always say. You know what? Don't worry about it, because your regular life is mundane and boring. The day you want to start doing bad, not quote unquote bad things, or going against the grain, starting a revolution, knowing how to navigate this world to start that revolution is probably the most important knowledge you have. Knowing what to use and what not to use. You know, don't use PlayStation
I think I'm
anymore.
gonna push back on that. Not that I want to make this into a whole, conspiracy theory.
But
I'm gonna push back on. You're not your everyday regular, tweeting or whatever. Your cell phone use is already being weaponized against you. Not only for advertisement, for let's say, how they weaponized Facebook. Whatever bias you have, Facebook, I'm gonna just use Facebook allegedly.
Yeah, no, that's
uses your biases against you and reinforces it and makes you more, that's why there's so much divide in this country too, because they're reinforcing biases and we're being divided left and right. There's no more communication. It's like, now this is a fact. I saw it all. I read this. I read this. I read that. Right? Because they're feeding that shit to you left and right, so you think it's fact. So
no,
that's
you're absolutely right. That's what I'm. Okay, fine. Like, it still comes down to being in the know, because if you know that's being weaponized, that
a lot of people don't know. That's the thing.
I know that's the problem. I mean, that's really the problem, right? Is the people who don't know. It's like
I think we all say the internet is feeding you some bullshit. There's some quote unquote fake news on there. People know about that. They hear those terms, but they don't really understand it. You know what I mean? When you when you're thinking Hillary Clinton's got running a baby human trafficking shop in a pizza shop, it's just, you're being fed that. You're like, oh, for real? Oh, she's a murderous, sick psychopath. She's got, babies through a pizza shop, because it's reinforced. It's just through their bias. It's just like, all right, just being fed that crap.
Maybe that's why this strikes so hard or so close to home for me now, because it's like the one safe space we kind of had with video games, where you're getting on games to escape, right? You're getting on games to get away. And now it's almost like you said, you have to teach, your kids and things like that, what to look out for, things like that. But what happens when they're used to being listened and watched ever since they were a child? So nothing seems strange, you know what I mean? So not to get too far with the tinfoil hat, but if the system is built so perfectly before they know about it, how can they ever escape it? If they're born into the rat race, how do they know they're in the maze? So they're building this maze around us currently, and this is an extra step in their maze building, where now it's even in the games. But
the games,
so now their kids will be like, oh, that's normal. It's on. We're always watching.
Video games are just going to use this to monetize the information. Like, oh, they're going to know. Oh, I know what kind of games Daniel likes. Of course, I'm gonna advertise them this, or we could build these type of games. This is what the people are talking about. Right. They're just gonna use this information to monetize it or sell the information to other companies, etc. It's just another way for these companies to, attack our wallets, attack our minds, and things of that nature. And it's just unfortunately, it's just the way it is.
And see, that's the worst part about it, because I think it's the worst possible way to get consumer information as well. Because when you do it this way, because I get it. I'm not of the mind that I think it's all nefarious. They're coming to take our fucking liberties and things like that. I think people it is mostly used for fucking advertising and, making people money. So the thing is, we're going to get it's basically like reality TV. Reality TV is perfectly curated. You know what I mean? It's science baked almost. They fucking know in the lab how to get you to fucking keep watching it. And that's what games are going to become. They're going to start making only games that they know are fucking lab tested to hit that dopamine button at just the right moment, just the right time. Right, like mobile game. That's what everything is going to be. And that's really my fear. That's going to get to that crazy degree that we're going to stop getting that really cool indie shit. We're going to stop getting things that really push boundaries, because, it's all going to be about, analytics.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what battle royales have become. It's already here. It's here. It just hasn't picked up. But look at my son. He can't play story games. And I've been trying to get him to yo, why don't you play something that has
okay.
I mean, I get it.
I didn't like what he was saying, so I got there he goes. Hey,
I think his son said, you know what, Dad, you're not gonna give out this information.
Oh shit,
you talking shit, Pops? Hold on.
That shit was like a jump through the majors, because the 1 second y'all are like this, and all of a sudden it's just like, and it just caught up.
Don't talk about your son anymore. I think we should move on from
moving on.
He's in the next room. All right, Dad. Okay.
So anyways, you guys can watch us as much as you want. We were just kidding.
I was saying was that it's hard to get him into he doesn't care about story-based games or anything like that. He loves just the easy, quick, like Roblox. You know, Roblox, like kids love Roblox. You know why? Because it's 10 million games on it. You don't stick to one. You get bored with one, you jump to the next one. You get bored with that, you jump to the next one. Bored with that. It's like kids watching YouTube, which I'm like, YouTube, I think is really the biggest problem with kids. YouTube, I think, is the biggest problem that people do not realize is right under their nose. It's literally like I feel like an old man here, but it's literally mind-numbingly dumb shit that these creators do to keep kids' attention. Like they'll just be there playing with slime, or they're playing with toys. So now instead of children playing with toys, they're watching other people play with toys. It's kind of like the whole idea of watching someone playing a video game. It's like, why watch them play a game when I can play it myself? It's the same shit. It's like a 4-year-old watching someone else playing with toys, and they just sit there watching like them do like a little, instead of using their own imagination to do that. It's like, what, you're watching someone else. Like my daughter is so confused as to why we don't let her watch YouTube. I'm like, because that shit is worse than anything that's on TV right now. Where they're trying to like, wherever they're trying to brainwash you on TV, I feel like it's better than this mind-numbingly dumb shit. Like it's really like gives you no imagination, because they're just there with the toy, and then the way kids get sucked in, that they're just like, they're just watching. I'm like, what are you watching? This is nonsense. Like this is. Even know. It's horrible though. It's like, watching like you'll see like this again, creators like these are regular people doing this on YouTube, like a little 7 or 8-year-old girl playing, and there'll be like a white slime going on her face, and then it slows down. It's weird shit, bro. I'm telling you, this is not a conspiracy. This is me watching it like, what the fuck is this? This is borderline pedophile shit. And the thing is that when you find out like when this whole pedophile shit started blowing up, a couple of searches, you go to these YouTubes that literally have like guys in the comments saying, oh, go to this link, they'll link the time, and when you go to the time, it's like the little 10-year-old girl with her legs spread open and shit like that. And it's just like, what the fuck is this? And so a lot of those videos cater to that demographic, to those weirdos who watch kids videos to get off on it. So when I see it slowing down and it's good, and it's like a slime going on a girl's face, so the girl's like eating like it'll look mad innocent, but she'll be eating a popsicle and putting it in her mouth, and then really slow, and it's like, come on guys, let's eat this popsicle, and it's like, and then it slows down in the video and shit. It's just like, all right, that's not fucking normal. I don't give a fuck. I maybe I have a dirty mind, but that shit's not fucking normal. And I'm telling you, it's weird fucked up shit. So it's just like it's
even the right? Even the not borderline pedophilic shit. Like I've seen my nephew on it, and just I hear it out of the side of my ear sometimes. I'm doing something, and it's just the most asinine, inane shit. It's just like, what? Like, what
it's weird.
It's like a grown man. It'll be like a grown man, but he's like, hey kids, so we're. It's just like, but why? Why the voice? And he's just like riding a tricycle, or it's just like, what the fuck exactly?
It doesn't make sense. It's nonsensical, and to me, I think there's something there. This is where I put my tinfoil, and I don't care if people think I'm crazy. I refuse to let my kids watch that shit. I'm like, you're not watching this. Something about that ain't right. It's like, you just know when you look at it, and it's doing some shit that, like, it's not a story. There's no narrative. There's no nothing. It's just like you said, it'll just be a guy riding a bicycle and bumping into shit, and like, but there'll be like weird camera shakes and shit that like sucks you in, like hypnotic almost. And I'm just like, it's fuck this shit. I'm like, I don't know. It sets off something in my mind that really
right.
He was right. We need to kill half the people on this planet, but
I think they're all dangerous just because of the brain training that they're doing to people, adults and children alike, man. Yeah, adults are losing their sense of focus, their sense of attention, their sense of patience, because we're all just. I mean, listen, I'm guilty of it. I'm trying to stop, but it's legit an addiction. When I get on Reddit and I get on a fucking tear, I have to, like, I physically have to, like, all right, snap myself out and be like, put the fucking phone down. There's nothing interesting. There's not going to be anything interesting. There's not going to be, you're not going to miss out on some fucking thing that's just really going to change your life, and you're really just going to laugh that hard about. Like, just put the fucking phone down.
TikTok too. TikTok is hypnotizing. Yeah, Reddit, that shit's evil.
YouTube now, because they have YouTube Shorts. All this shit. It's just a quick fucking dopamine. Instagram is the best thing of that. Fat asses and titties. Quick dopamine hit, and then you move on, and then hey, it's The Rock selling you something.
All I know is I'm going to be searching Kevin James on Pornhub.
Kevin James.
He's the number one. He's the number one searched person in Tennessee on Pornhub for some reason.
Why?
So Kevin James? You mean the King of Queens?
Yeah, I was like, that Kevin James.
That Kevin James. Yeah.
Okay, I thought I was bugging. Like, why?
I don't know why he's number one, but I'm gonna have to check it out.
Don't do that.
I have to check it out.
Oh no.
Yeah, Paul Blart, King of Queens. Whatever.
Same
guy.
Interesting. I'm not gonna partake in that.
But
It's research.
but yeah,
It's all about research.
lots of research.
And I think Florida's
That's
boats,
gross.
which makes sense. I think that makes sense, though.
Florida boats. That tracks.
Florida's boats.
That tracks.
I think it makes sense.
Boats / cocaine.
No, I'm
I
not
would
gonna do
imagine.
this right now.
You're gonna Google it right now.
I
You
was gonna say,
Googling on Pornhub.
Don't put
I'm
that in
gonna
your
get
search
stuck on
history.
it. Yeah, I'm like, no, let me. I gotta turn my VPN on and
Damn,
private.
right now, you got to do it during mid thing. You're gonna check Kevin James.
Midstream, I gotta check this out. Hold on.
I
a
gotta check
second.
this out, guys.
Hold
I'll
on
be
a
right back in about
second.
3 minutes. Oh,
my
30
God.
Kevin
seconds.
James.
So yeah,
that's my piece on it. It's just it's nuts. I wonder what the listeners think about that. I'd love for you to like hit me up, and I'm actually curious to see what people think. Like, are people just not paying attention? Do people not care? Do people just?
I think you brought it to my attention. I didn't know that.
Yeah, man. It's creeping up. It just seems a lot more prevalent where it's like just everybody's fucking watching me.
I think I don't know if I'm doing my son a service or not, but you know how I'm totally into free thinking. Let's put it like that. And I tell
Woke,
them what to
son.
look.
Woke.
I'm woker than the woke people. This woke movement sucks because it's a bunch of sleep people thinking that they know shit, and it's like, nah, you're still sleeping. I mean, I'm probably still asleep too, but there's just things that I'm like, I'm awake to the fact that I've been asleep for a long time. And
Read some Thoreau,
it's like-
people. You want to wake up? Read some Thoreau, not the internet.
and I tell my son like what to look out for, like why microtransactions are bad. Like I'm like, when you look at that and it makes you want to buy something, you see the loot box, and I keep this in. I'm like, just remember that that's literally done on purpose. Like it's done so that you want to do it. That's why when you watch it and you get excited, like like, and I tell him like,
Don't do that to him. You're killing his fucking sense of
Nah.
amazement already.
Now
Kid's like
he's
8
12.
years old.
It's time.
Oh, no.
He's 12. It's time. He's about to be a teenager in January. I'm teaching him.
Son, I'm here to let you
he's
know
having
there's
a good time
nothing
with his
good in
boys.
life.
He's having a good time with his boys. He had his childhood. Now it's time. Now it's like the end of the world is coming, guys, and he needs to be
nothing
ready.
good in the world. Everybody wants something from you.
And I
son.
tell him that too. I said, don't take my information as some kind of like to be scared about life. It's just I tell him this is so that you know how to navigate life. You know what I mean? How to So he's still gonna make mistakes. He's still gonna do dumb shit because I'm sure I'm not ignorant to the fact that he's probably like, here we go again with the conspiracy theories. Yeah, Dad. And the government is out to get you, son.
True.
No, but it's all like again, it's all something digestible for a 12-year-old, not like some real deep wildness like I could go on about. But yeah, why is the Switch OLED trash and why are people buying that shit and all excited about it?
What a fucking segue. That was smooth as fuck.
Yeah.
I'm not. I will not be getting the OLED screen.
So, all right, and neither will I. So, Ezra, this is something you had discussed. Though I think I can't remember. I think it was on your podcast. We're talking about pricing of games, right? Mm-hmm. And Metroid Dread is a 2D platformer. Just came out from Nintendo, and it's $60. Now I know you say that the price per the per hour amount for a game is pretty great compared to, let's say, like a movie or whatever, going to the movies, which is like $25 for 2 hours. I mean, do you think it matters, a 2D game or 3D, AAA, like, does it matter? Do you think that should matter when pricing a game? Like, do you think something like Metroid Dread, which is like a 7 or 8 hour 2D side scroller, should be priced as a full price, like $60?
I guess it depends on the experience, right? I guess that's a personal, how can I say? What do you feel? Like it depends on the experience and how rich it is, the experience. It could be 8 hours impactful gameplay to you. Do you want to spend $60 on a 2D 8-hour game that probably doesn't give you much replayability? Probably not at all. So, but that experience better make up for the other stuff that's lacking. And
right.
Also, but if it offers replayability a lot, I'm guessing it's worth it. In the end, as I always say, consumers is what makes something worth something. If you don't think it's worth $60, don't buy it. Then eventually they're going to lower the price to get it off their hands to move it. So in the end, if it sells, I guess society has chosen that it is $60. I don't know if that's that's a cop out of answer, but if I'm looking at a 2D game, me personally, I'm like, all right, I'm already going to like $60 for it. I'm already going to look, but I'm a frugal, cheap motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I don't buy a car unless it's over 10 years old. But that's just my thinking when it comes to money. But I'm saying is it depends what kind of experience is it going to deliver to me, and is it truthful about it? Like, you know what? This is 8 hours of rich experience for $60, and then you have to think about it. Nah, 8 hours is not worth it. You know, I only see me playing it one time, things of that nature, and I don't know what the resale value of that is. So, you know, overall, me first look, no, but it all depends what is trying to deliver for you, and society has to choose if it's worth the price or not.
That's fair. I mean, it's a real answer. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Personally, I mean, I'm sure it's fun. $60 fun. Like, do I need to play it now? I guess not. You know, for me, no. It's like I'm a fan of Metroid, but not that big of a fan. Like I enjoyed, you know, Super Metroid, which is probably the one I played the most, you know, which is the OG. And I do like Metroidvanias, like, you know, stuff like that. But, and I'm sure this is really good at what it's doing. I'm hearing some good stuff. But yeah, I don't know. For me, yeah, I think aesthetic do matter for me. And because I can play a lot of amazing 2D side scrolls for like a quarter of that price, I'll probably end up going with something else and probably get a very enjoyable experience.
I think it's a branding thing, right? Like,
and that's so, yeah.
Like, why is a Supreme shirt worth $200? So Metroid, Nintendo, their pricing is $60 because it's a branding thing. And this is Metroid. You know, if you put XYL, you know, game up there, they're probably not going to sell for $60 because it doesn't have the branding of a Metroid or a Nintendo back game. So they're selling it based off of branding, and you know, that's just the way it is. That's just most things in this, you know, this world that we buy that's, you know, has a luxury price to it because it has that branding to it. And that's why, remember, this is way off topic, but I've always made that argument, like, I think Game Boy will come back someday because it has such strong branding. It's a brand, and you know, people and companies use that advantage to their advantage. You saying that? Branding.
Yeah, nah. Yeah, we're still with the nah. That was the last time you were here. We talked about that.
Happen one day. It's gonna happen one day. You're gonna be like, Game Boy? All right. You know, and people are gonna be excited once they hear Game Boy's gonna be released. People are gonna excited, and that's why I think Nintendo. It's just a branding thing. Once you hear the name, if they just put it to tomorrow, you know. Oh, Game Boy. Just Game Boy, a Game Boy logo, and put fall 2023. People going to be like, oh shit, like what are they doing? What are they doing? You know, it don't have to be a handheld, like I said, but you could brand it into anything else if you want to.
Nintendo's
that's what Metroid
like
is.
The supreme of the game world, huh? They just got the fires branding.
Yeah.
It's true though, right? Like,
or
when
like
you think
Apple,
of Nintendo,
Apple does the same shit. Yeah.
Yeah, look at that. You know, their cell phone's going up to $2,000, and it works for them, right? People are willing to pay $2,000 for a cell phone.
Crazy.
Wait, really? That's being talked about? An Apple phone for $2,000?
Well, I'm saying, they're okay. How much is their?
No, I thought. Yeah, no, it's $1,000. Yeah. So no,
I was just saying, if you go up there in memory and stuff like that, how much is the highest priced one? Like $1,600-$1,700, then plus tax. It's $2,000. That's how I look at it.
The iPhone, is it?
I'm saying if you get like the 300 gig one, I think they're you know, something ridiculous like that.
Oh shit! I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah, that's like when
even
I was
if
searching
even if it's
MacBook.
$1,000, you're paying $1,000 for a cell phone, something you want to change the next year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
am I right or wrong? Like, you know what? All right. I got the 12.
So
the 13's coming. I want the 13. Oh, the 14's coming. I want the 14.
This is the first time I've had a cell phone for second time. The second time I've had a cell phone for 2 years. I don't have an iPhone. Impressed.
You know, I'm cheap too. Like, you know, I got the Pixel 3a, which is the Google phone, and the 6a. I mean, the 6 and the 6a is coming out. I'm like, oh, that's when I could buy the 5a.
I still got my Palm Pre. You know.
Oh my God!
All day, baby.
I got the OGG one still sitting in my drawer over there. The Android,
hit me up on the BBMs later, right, guys?
My Pearl broke on it. I can't. Fell out.
But yeah, what about you, Adacat? So, like, would you spend $60 on a 2D platformer, or would you look into it?
Well, the thing is, I've definitely spent $60 on far less entertaining experiences in my life. So, I probably wouldn't for this one. But Metroid isn't my thing necessarily. 2D side scrollers aren't my thing necessarily. I think it does. It's tough because it seems like an awkward sell. It's just like awkwardly placed. Because like on one hand, I can see it going for 60 just because it's Metroid, it's Nintendo. People love Metroid, and you know you would assume the quality is there, things like that. But then on the other hand, it's like you see all these other fire side scrollers getting dropped for like $20. So it's like, is it better than those? Why am I giving you that extra money? Is it actually good, or is it really just because Metroid's in it Because if that's the case, I'll just go play a Steam fucking side scroller for $10 or whatever it is,
and probably have an amazing experience.
yeah, right. But it's the thing, is it just because it's a side scroller it's not worth 60? I don't know, because I was pretty pissed off when I figured out Gears of War was 8 hours when I beat that campaign. When everybody figured out, like, what the fuck? It's over? Like, legit? Like, that was like the first game that truly came in and was like, fuck you, you get 8 hours. We out. Deuces. And it was just like, what the fuck is this? People were tight about that. So just remember that. People were tight, like $60 on an 8-hour game. That's crazy. Like, I wanted at least 30 hours. Like, where's my Halo experience? Well, that was like 20 hours.
Right.
They weren't ready for that. So seems pricey now, maybe not so much in the future. I don't know. I wouldn't do it. Not my style of game. I'd probably advise most people not to do it. There's a lot of other probably better shit out there for a lot less.
Exactly. I forgot to mention, I've been playing Far Cry 6, the first Far Cry I've ever played, and I'm having a fun time with it.
Oh, there you go. Did you get malaria yet?
No.
Oh, okay. Work on it.
But yeah.
I think it's like an argument. Like, I remember I was also talking to Marvin about this. Like, I don't play Call of Duty campaigns.
Right.
Like, I don't think I've played a Call of Duty campaign since like the original Modern Warfare.
Right.
And I'm like, if they just charge me $60, $70 for the multiplayer, I'm cool with that. Even if they charge, I wish they would charge me two separate prices: $40 for multiplayer, $20 for the campaign. But if the multiplayer was just $60, $70, a lot of people will complain about that because they're used to getting both. Right. But for me, it's a personal choice. I wouldn't care. I'm like, all right, I'm paying $70 for the multiplayer because that's all I play.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Well, it used to be the campaigns were really fucking something special. And this last one, the campaign was pretty solid, I think. Yeah, see, I was one of those people bitching like, yo, you can't just sell me multiplayer without the campaign. Because the campaigns used to be dope. Like, it used to be you wouldn't even touch the multiplayer until you beat that campaign. You and your boys, you'd get it, you'd try to race through the campaign, it'd be fire, you'd be like, yo, it was nuts, Captain Price and yada yada, the first ghillie suit mission, all that shit was dope. And
I would know nothing about the campaigns. Because like I said, the only time I think I put it on was the original Modern Warfare, and I think my internet was out. I was like, all right, I'll play the offline.
And nothing about that experience made you want to go back for more?
No, because to me, the experience, it was a great experience, but to me, the enriching experience is multiplayer. If I'm jumping online, talking smack, killing people, like that's where I got my joy from. No matter what, no matter how much I kill a computer, it's like, all right.
But the soldier that you're going into battle with, you didn't care about his background or none of the homies around you who you were murdering?
Gave no shits. The only time I care about...
Yeah, he's from New York. He didn't care.
I guess the most modern, first-person shooters. I cared about Halo's, campaign, and the only reason I cared about it because it had a deep, enriched, storyline, and two, their co-op was really awesome story mode. So that's the one I really cared about was Halo's. Like, it's funny, I had the opposite with Halo coming out. Like, I'm not looking forward to the multiplayer. Don't care about the multiplayer for Halo. What? I want the story to come out, and I want to play that more than the multiplayer.
You mean for Infinite, this one?
Yeah, the one that's going to come out, yeah.
You are not excited for multiplayer? You too, games?
Like, I'm excited for multiplayer, but I think
these people.
I'm not, because Halo was used to be about the campaign.
What?
Yeah,
it was a cool campaign, but let's be real.
I think Halo had both. Halo had the banging multiplayer and the banging campaign. Right, that's why it was.
Yeah. Okay. Look.
They brought to make you feel multiplayer to console. They said, "This is how we do it, sons."
I
Gather
played
around.
The campaign second for Halo 2. Halo 2, I didn't touch the campaign for like a month because I jumped into multiplayer. So don't get me wrong. Yes, I love the multiplayer, and I think 3 as well. I think 3, I jumped right into the multiplayer and then played the campaign because I always thought I didn't like Halo 2's, original Halo's campaign. It was short. It didn't make sense. It was just like, these are the bad guys. You got to go stop them. You stop them, and that was it. Like? Yeah, I thought it was too short. I didn't think it was anything that crazy. Okay. The second one, I liked it a lot more.
I think as Halo progressed, for me, like by Halo 3 came out, I think just the multiplayer is just too slow paced for me at this point.
I see. And then I loved what was it, ODST or whatever, and that's the first one. I mean, that's the prequel, right? Or Halo Reach was the prequel. And that, I played that like a month ago. I was just playing it because when you play the Master Chief Collection, it takes you in chronological order, so it starts you with Reach.
That's cool.
And I'm like, yo, this was a fire ass game. I forgot how good Reach was, story wise, music. Like Reach was like their fucking magnum opus of shit. So
I hope Halo makes a strong comeback. I really do.
Agreed.
4 was trash. 4 had a really weak campaign. I never touched 5, and I heard it was just trash. That's why 5 was panned because of the campaign, and the whole multiplayer on top of that wasn't all that great. But 5 was really like disliked because they took out Master Chief, and he was not part of the story apparently.
And they didn't even warn you about it.
So this one, while I'm super excited for the multiplayer, don't get me wrong, I think I'm equally excited for the campaign. Like I'm really looking forward to the campaign because they're bringing Master Chief back. Yeah. Hopefully they really wrote in something like fire to hit those fan, some fan service.
The enemy faction is going to be, it just fits in perfectly, makes sense, and it's going to be really good.
I hope it goes back to S tier. Like, do you think Halo's still S tier? There's S tier, A tier.
Right now,
B tier.
no. It's been B series since.
It's been weak, right? I think it's like
343 took over.
At best, it's probably A tier right now, right?
Yeah, I'd say.
I'm talking about as a branding, as a franchise. Like it's still gonna because you hear Halo, it's still gonna be like it's still gonna be whoa.
Oh yeah,
Halo's
branding is
coming
still
out.
A+.
Yeah. Branding is still up there. That's why everyone's excited.
Fuck yeah.
I think if it's A right now. But if Infinite does what everyone's hoping it's going to do, it's going to be right back up there. And
that's what I'm thinking. Yeah. My thing is, let's say, because it seems like everybody's confident it's making its comeback, right? Mm-hmm. How confident are you? 1 out of 10. Halo's coming back to S tier.
No, it really
what number would you give it?
I say, damn, how confident I am?
I feel like a lot of people are confident it's coming back. Like Halo's taking its place among the franchises and especially first-person shooters.
80% confidence that it's
I'll say 8 out of 10.
I was going to say
8 out of 10.
80% is really high. And I think overall, I think the Halo community and people are really confident this Halo is going to be a banger. So my question is, if it's not, let's say it's just it's another disappointment, how far down would that knock off Halo? That's my big concern. Like, if you got all this confidence and it becomes this experience, is it going to be like, you know what, the next Halo, fuck that, they disappointed me too many times. I'm legit worried for Microsoft and Halo franchise if it's not a hitter.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's worried about that.
Well, I don't think
anybody's worried about it.
Well, first of all, there's a few things that are going to save it. Number one, no one's paying real money for that unless you're a really confident fan who's going to outright buy the game. Right. Game Pass is going to save that shit. So even if it's lukewarm now, all it has to do is it's already being built to be expanded on. And if I'm not mistaken, it's already been somewhat spoiled where it's going to, like, even the story is not going to be like a complete story. I think the story is going to be open-ended or something like that. I don't know how true
even if it comes out mid, it'll pull a Sea of Thieves or No Man's Sky.
Yeah,
it could be built up to be better
because it's on Game Pass. Because you're not going to spend any money on it. I think, and as long as the multiplayer is solid, the campaign I don't know how confident I am about the campaign. I'm a little scared. That's like I'm an 8 for the multiplayer. I'm like a 6, 7 for the campaign. Like I'm not sure how good it's gonna be because they already had something going. It's like what could they really have done this last year? You know what I mean? Like I don't know if they really had the resources for 12 months for this thing to really take off. So I think multiplayer wise, it's already the test flights that they've done already got rave reception. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the major reasons why I'm confident because people have already played it and they're saying that the multiplayer is solid as fuck. So yeah, I just think the only thing that'll bring it down a few points is the campaign, but I think the multiplayer is already a lock. I think it's going to be decent enough, and then you can always add to it.
It's a lock. So I like that. Oh,
I think it's because
that's more than 80%. That's a good 9.5 confidence right there.
When it comes to being a competitive, a long-lasting competitive game on the competition scene, I think it's going to be around. I don't think it's going to fade away. Right. In terms of general popularity, like some of the top streamers were mentioning this and they were talking about it. I do think it's going to have trouble maintaining a top place because it doesn't have a battle royale. And it seems like that's all people really want to watch when you're streaming. They want to watch people play battle royales. They want to watch, I don't know. So the Battlefield is going to have that issue. Halo's going to have that problem.
I've read that from like top streamers, and I'm going to say this with all disrespect. I don't give a fuck what a top streamer's got to say about any game. Even though I know they're an influencer. I know
they have their hand on the pulse. They have thousands of people every day telling them what they want to watch. Because when they switch games, they disappear.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's the streamer or if that's the people once again deciding what's hot or not. Mm-hmm. So if Halo's a banger, the streamer's gonna go to Halo because the people, that's what they want to watch. So I don't like I said, I don't know if I don't give a fuck about what a top streamer says about any game. I really don't. I understand their position, how popular they are, what influence their brand and things of that nature, but I don't really give a shit. I don't care. I put no stock in Dr. Disrespect fucking I know he has a game development background, right? He used to be a Call of Duty.
Yeah, I think he developed like a map or
The point is, I don't give a fuck what any one of these guys say or women. You know what I mean? When some streamer and comes to a game.
Not even me?
Definitely not you.
Oh.
That's rough.
So, I want to see how this game, translates to the new world, and hopefully it's a hitter.
I think it's going to be a hit. I think it's going to be great. Like I said, I think it's just how popular it's going to be is I think they have a point where it's like if it doesn't have a battle royale type mode, something in that vein. I think Battlefield is their hazard mode. I think they said they're going to reveal a little more about that, and it does sound like a battle royale, just maybe a little more objective focused.
Yeah.
But so Battlefield is going to have something, and now if Halo has something, I'm hype about Halo having a battle royale just because it seems like it's built for that. If they ever implement it, who knows? I think it would be good because I think they have all the pieces in front of them to make one of the best battle royales probably, because it's already perfectly fucking balanced, and the grenade play in it.
So they're gonna have two multiplayer modes, a battle royale and a multiplayer.
Who's that?
Yeah, like Call of Duty is already doing.
I know that. I'm just wondering. So that's the plans. Well,
Battlefield has always had multiple. I mean, if anything, Call of Duty's biting off of Battlefield. Battlefield's had these large battles forever and multiple, they've had small maps, big maps, they've had different game modes, conquest, things like that. So, I mean, yeah, Battlefield's always been kind of king of modes and different things to do. Call of Duty is playing catch up, to be honest.
And we don't know about Halo yet. I don't know if that's what you were asking. We're asking if that was the plan for Halo or for...
Yeah, Halo.
I'm just wondering, is the BR confirmed?
For Halo?
Yeah.
For Halo, no. No. Halo, it's a dream. Right. And what I'm saying is because Halo, like Dr. Disrespect and other people, and I wonder about it because it's like, yeah, will it stay? Like, I hope it stays popular because I think part of Halo taking the top, getting back into that S class nowadays is going to require it to be a popular streaming title. It seems like that's what really keeps games on people's minds. It's going to keep it near the top of whatever list we've made up in our heads. It's going to be, how popular of a streaming title it is. Like Overwatch is in their fucking league, like Warzone is, like Apex is. All these games we talk about, they're all fucking top streaming games. And so for Halo to get back to that tier, in my mind, I think they need something that is very streamable or is popular enough that, it stays in people's view a lot. Right. So I hope that happens. I don't know what's going to be, but I hope it happens.
I think it's gonna come out strong. I think they knew that last year was not gonna be S tier. You know what I mean? And yeah. I think they knew that, and I think that's why they said, it's either we die in this hill just releasing the game for deadlines, or we just say fuck it, pull the plug, let's wait a year. Like I think that was probably their best decision that they probably could have ever made, especially that like multiplayer. Campaign multiplayer is not available day one, which I think is I really think they should just push it back and this game needs to launch perfect. And I think that's a big disappointment because a lot of people didn't play 5, and this is going to be a nostalgia trip. They want to go back, play that campaign with their boys, put it on the hardest mode, and let's go ham and let's try to do it. And I'm sure a lot of people are highly disappointed by that. So that's to me that's a big it's a little sad. I mean, I really don't care that much. I always did it. That was always something we did because we were bored. Like, hey, want to run campaign on heroic or whatever, and that was always like an afterthought. But it is disappointing. But I think. Because they're actually going to release it, I think they knew they had to be confident in what was being released. Plus, they got rid of like 2 directors. Like the heads rolled when Craig came out.
They have to. I think that this is their, this is what kept, this is what made Xbox 2 to come out. Right? Was Halo. Halo was their jewel.
I think Microsoft should have really. Sorry, I'm going to cut you off there. I just really think that Microsoft really should have paid or did whatever the fuck they could have done to keep Bungie on board and not let them fucking go. I'm like, I think that was one of the biggest mistakes. They should have said, we'll give you whatever the fuck you want. And they thought, people like Halo, how hard is it to make a first person shooter? And 343 didn't do much with it. And it's like, look at what happened with the Master Chief Collection. Like, they could not port that game over. Like, it was a shit show for 6 months after release. So it's like, yo, like, it's, you know, now it's okay, it works, but it's like, you know, the 343 really had, like, this 343 needs this right now. They all, you know, them as a studio needs it, because none of their Halo games have been that great. You know what I mean? They've been passable, I guess, but they function. But none of them were really that great. You know, the story for the campaign for 4 was not good, and nobody played the multiplayer. Like, that was the first time I did not care about the Halo multiplayer. And I think a part of that's because I just didn't care about the campaign. I really think that was part of it at the time.
Well, I mean, you're asking a new-ish studio to come in and like basically take over for a legendary studio. That's like, you know, that's like Squeenix coming in and be like, all right, so the Final Fantasy 11 team, they're gone. You guys are gonna do their job now, okay? Do it just like them. Thanks.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Like, we were just making Cooking Mama. What the fuck you mean? I don't know what to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? So who knows how much control they even had at the beginning? Maybe some things they couldn't improve, just they didn't have control over the franchise to that level yet. You know, I don't know, but they definitely do need this because
they need this win like big time. So I have faith. I'm hoping. I think I'm just more hopeful, and I think I'm cautiously optimistic. On top of that, like, I won't be surprised if the campaign is not that great. I think the multiplayer is here to stay. I think it's gonna stay competitive, and I think Xbox, as a brand, is gonna do everything they can to listen to the players. And if it's not great or if it loses steam in a month, I think they're gonna do everything. Now they have a base, right? So now all it is just making sure that they have constant updates, competitions, maybe enter it into esports, like really keep it at the forefront of people's minds or whatever. And it needs to be like you're coming to Game Pass because we have Halo, like, you know what I mean? Like, even though it's going to be a free multiplayer, so you don't actually have to be a sub, but I think I'm pretty sure it's going to be like one of those things where if you play it on PC, it's probably going to be within the software somehow. You know, so you're seeing Game Pass in your face probably.
Halo means Kevin James. That's it. Plain and simple.
Plain and simple.
And hey, Master Chief needs to remove his helmet, and it's Kevin James.
It's Kevin James. Oh god.
Oh
it's
shit.
Kevin James.
Who's Cortana? Who does Cortana become when the AI fades away?
It's also Kevin James, but
it's also
everybody should be just Kevin James. Everybody's a clone of Kevin James.
Kevin James. All the grunts.
Oh shit.
The elite, the flood. Just all Kevin James.
But
That's
yeah,
great.
I think we've been on for a bit, so I think it's a good time to start getting off this place.
Get off this place. Get off this crazy ride.
Let's get off this ride, yup. But yeah, no, this was a good talk, a good episode. I think we had a really good talk. How was your first episode being with us here, Ezra?
Could have been better. You could have got me some, you sent me a bottle of champagne or something to celebrate. But I'll last. I'll drink my water.
Don't worry, I got you.
It's healthy.
Send me something nice. Shit.
I'll give you a sticker.
He doesn't get.
I'll give you a
anything,
VGXL sticker.
There you go.
One of our old stickers so it'll be exclusive. We don't
go.
even use that design anymore.
Well worn.
Retro. I'm gonna get the retro. Retro look.
Retro.
Michael Jordan's. The Jordans, right? The retro sells. So maybe I get the retro VGXL.
Put it on stock.
Be hot in the streets.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have my mug here. Damn it! I'll even give you a mug
shit.
one day. Oh, you want a Stadia?
Oh god.
I already said it was dead earlier in the episode. You talk about a Stadia.
Collector's item.
Just say
Collector's
yes.
item.
Just take
right
it.
about
take
that.
it.
You know what? I'll take it.
There
you know
you
what?
go. Take it.
There is see, I don't because I don't care about Stadia. I want to ask you before. There's a subscription model or no?
Yeah, the subscription model is you get, it's like PS Plus. You get free like 5 or 6 free games every month, and better resolution for $10 a month. Like you'll get like the best or whatever. So I'm not gonna lie, I actually been paying for it and I keep forgetting to cancel. And
Stadia might be the perfect thing. Like let's say you're
wrong with you?
babysitting an age range between 3 and 6. You just say, hey, play some video games.
Yeah, I have a bunch of free games that I have like a pretty good Stadia library because of the free games. Yeah,
bitching works. You know what I mean? I complained and now I got something free.
Yeah, there you go. Now when you'll get it? Wait, you're gonna open it though? Nah,
No, you can't open it.
I just told. I
know.
do
I just
babysit a
realized.
4-year-old once in a while, so I'll
give you my
and
Luna.
can
Because you could.
play. How you gonna switch it up on me like this? You
Because
seem
that's
like
already
you just stated-
open.
He's like, I
All
got
right, I'll
this
take
jar
it
of
now.
Play-Doh. Can I send you that?
Okay, whatever you
I
want.
have some
whatever
old
you wanna give
toys
me.
that my daughter doesn't use
I'll take some of
anymore.
your old
I
drawers
got a
too.
box
Whatever
of
you want to
cereal.
give me.
You like cornflakes?
No
Cornflake?
frills. No
You
frills.
know what I
though.
think? I think Frosted Flakes is overrated. I just want to let everybody know, overrated.
I'll take
Yo,
that.
you
I
never
agree
called
with
us
that.
for the cereal bowl,
legit.
bro. Did you? I'm sure.
You mean I never did the cereal draft. The cereal draft.
Yeah.
Okay, I never did it, so I'm
Why
gonna
not?
call you for something I didn't do.
I didn't
That's
get a
what I
call
mean. You
either.
never
Yeah,
did it.
where was my
You didn't
cereal?
call
We
me.
can
draft?
actually do. You know what? When there's the draft coming up, we should do. I'll be a guest if if you're not talking.
Yo,
to me
lacrosse
anymore.
is
I'll
drafting
come
right
back.
now, bro.
We could do a video game draft, maybe like characters or franchises. Do a
Okay.
video game, like who will be the first pick if you had to pick a franchise?
For
Look at you
Smash
already.
team?
Video.
Look at you already going away from the cereal draft.
Smash team?
Let's get the cereal draft out the
Hey,
way
son,
first.
I already know what yours is gonna be. Fruity Pebbles is your first pick.
That's Pfeffer's
Okay.
actually.
Fruity
She
Pebbles
likes-
is
Fruity
pretty good. I'm not
Pebbles?
gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Cinnamon
in the
Toast
mood for
Crunch
that.
might be. I can't tell you all my picks, but Cinnamon Toast Crunch. What?
No, that's
what
mine.
What do you
Yeah,
like?
nah, cinnamon
Motherfucking
toast
rookies
crunches.
out here, bro.
Yeah, this guy likes Lucky Charms or some shit.
Lucky
I don't know.
Charms,
What's-
marshmallows in my
my
cereal.
jam.
Not a fucking ugh.
I don't fuck with Lucky
Uncultured.
Charms. Lucky Charms is
swine.
not.
Yeah,
No.
Really?
I'm
What, my big
sophisticated,
hitter
bro. I
is-
do cinnamon life. I'm sophisticated.
Nah.
All right.
Special K fruit and yogurt. Oh, a top
Fruit
tier
and
S tier right there.
yogurt. Oh man, why you
Fruit
keep throwing
and
that? No.
delicious.
Maybe with the strawberries. I'll give you that.
it's a hitter. Oh my
All right.
god.
Cinnamon life.
Well,
bro. Cinnamon life.
thank you everybody. If you made it this far, I really appreciate you listening. We may have Ezra on more often, so you come back
They
if
had
you're
me on.
Yeah.
Let me know ahead of time.
And if you want more of a variety
Might have
podcast where they
you
talk about bidets and buying old cars, be sure to check out the Idiot Ezra podcast anywhere that podcasts are played, right?
Yeah, anywhere that's available
that
for
one place.
podcasts. Idiot Ezra will be there. And yes, get a bidet to change your life. It changed Daniel's life.
My butt's
Bidets
clean
I
right
love
now.
a bidet. Get that ass. You don't want your ass feeling like sandpaper, right?
It's
You know what I mean? Like how do you wash your hands?
It's an addiction.
How do you clean
now.
your
Now
hands?
it's
You don't
like-
use a napkin, right? You wash it with
it's
water.
like, and when I'm
I
at
just
work,
get my
and I'm used to-
T-shirt. One of these moves.
When we sort of have to use the toilet.
I'm just like, my
Yo,
hands
I'm
smell
good.
like dick.
That's a lot of people. You know what? Sadly, when I worked in a casino,
Smells like my cock.
I went to the public restroom. A lot of people will come out, just not wash. I see why COVID just went rapid because motherfuckers don't know how to wash their
Yeah, I
hands.
saw that the other day,
That's why
bro.
I don't
The
eat at
other
Chipotle.
day I saw, I could not believe it. I'm like, wait, really? Like,
did?
even if you don't think COVID's really that crazy, because I'm sure there's a lot of people, whatever. It's like fine, but like at least in the bathroom, like, and I was there. Like, at least wash it so that I don't judge you.
I see why people don't wash their ass
You
because they
have
don't
no
wash their
shame.
hands. It's ridiculous. But
And the thing is, he was working, so I'm like, you could have done, like, if you're working with your hands and you're getting dirty, I mean, what's a quick wash too, just to kind of freshen that up? Like, you work, whatever. That shit was disgusting.
freshen that up.
Like, even
Strong
if it's just
immune
like
systems.
a midday wash your hands, because I get it. Some, you're touching yourself. I mean, you don't even have to touch your Johnson. You just it's unzipping, shake it
Yeah.
out, and do what you got to do. And
That's what you do. You don't even touch it.
if you don't want to
just
touch
shake
it, but you're supposed to wash your
You
hands
go
before
full
you touch your
secura
stuff. So,
right when you use the restroom,
yeah, be like, "Ooh."
just so your hips don't lie. You be up in there like whatever.
Yeah, exactly. All right then.